Hi, my name is Gabby. I'm going to be speaking out on an issue of personal importance. Yesterday, a Facebook link came across my newsfeed with a link to a New York Times article. What caught my attention at first was her comment, which read, "A woman walked into the park with a man she knew. They were walking, he was touching her, and then as they got further into the park, he sexually assaulted her? Sounds like a bad date, not rape." What? What kind of commentary is that to make on such a heavy issue? So I decided to look at the article itself, and I noticed it wasn't just this Facebook person's dismissive comment that troubled me. The article itself suggested that the woman's rape claim didn't seem legitimate, that her story didn't make sense. There were claims of inconsistencies in her story that were quickly labeled as lies. As if that wasn't bad enough, the dismissive comment stream continued. "Very suspicious, to say the least. 2:15 a.m. into Central Park with a guy? If she was groped against her will, why would she accompany him?" So a woman stands up to overcome the shame and horror of sexual assault, and immediately the victim is questioned? That's the issue that's on my mind as a young woman with a personal history in this arena. I've gone through my own sexual trauma experience and have experienced firsthand the incredible difficulties involved in facing and talking about it. And while I have the utmost respect for the law and the basic principle that people are innocent until proven guilty, I'm not referring here to the treatment of the suspected offender. I'm not here today to villainize or hate on the claimed or accused assaulter. I'm purely concerned with the attitude and treatment of the victim themselves, the person who suffered from the sexual assault, not their claimed assaulter. Sexual trauma victims often tell their stories in a very disjointed manner, especially at first. There's confusion and pain. We tend to unconsciously block things out as a brain's coping mechanism. These inconsistencies while talking about an assault experience are not dishonesty. They're the result of trauma and shock. It was explained to me that when a person has gone through something painful or traumatic, the brain either shuts off the memory or can only process and remember bits and pieces as a way of defense. What happens is an overwhelming amount of hormones flow to the brain and the left side of the brain shuts down as a way of coping. This is what can lead to a fragmented story. It's not a matter of dishonesty, it's biological self-preservation. In many cases, it can be impossible for the victim to fully recall the events that occurred. The issue then is how we treat and respond to sexual trauma victims now that we know the scientific fact. Well, it would seem that as a society, we're a bit more than inconsistent on this matter. On the one hand, we hear about in the news, and commercials, and posters, and everywhere else about these hotlines for sexual assault. These people are told, please be brave and speak up. Yet when a victim does muster up the courage to be brave and speak up, what happens? There are papers that immediately question the story. Facebook commenters feel qualified to deny the story without a shred of evidence. A date gone bad is hardly a compassionate response. So, which is it? Are we supposed to be brave and speak up because compassion and help awaits on the other side? Or should we keep quiet to avoid ridicule and possible blame? No wonder so many victims stay quiet. So what can be done to help this situation? Share this video, bring up this topic with family, discuss it with friends. Get talking because change starts with a message. And my message is, if someone is brave enough to come forward, give them that basic compassion and respect to let them heal.